The EFF's Vhembe Regional Conference in Limpopo has indeed started. Over 200 delegates are attending the party's conference, which is taking place at a private venue. Deputy President Floyd Shivambu will also be in attendance. The party's Central Committee dissolved in January all provincial structures. Let's take a look then at this. Katla Konyoni, a very good afternoon to you then. Let's talk about what is expected to come out of today. We understand that the Deputy President of the EFF is to address the crowd. What are we hearing today?
I don't want to anyway.
Certainly true, Flo. Good afternoon to you and to our viewers. Well, of course, the Vhembe Regional Conference is against the backdrop of a decision by the Central Command Team in January to disband structures in the province, including regional ones. The Vhembe Regional Conference today is, of course, running concurrently with a conference in the Sekhukhune district. What we expect today is that there is going to be a nomination flow of the top 5, including additional members. But joining us to explain further about today is the spokesperson, Leanne. Good afternoon, Leanne. How are you?
Very well. How are you? Thanks for coming to our assembly, we call them, Regional People's Assemblies.
So take us through today, essentially. You've just kick-started the conference. What are we going to expect here? We know that there will be the nomination of the top 5 contenders who are vying the spot of the leadership position. What can we expect?
Well, we have already started the process. So registration is normally a very long process. So we were expecting 216, we have 216 delegates. So that whole process is a very tedious process because we have to check their IDs and their credentials. So it's a lot of work that goes into us preparing our Regional People's Assembly, actually all our assemblies. So now we've kicked off the second part of our program. You can hear that they're adopting credentials. So everyone must be satisfied that at least 90% of the represented wards are present. So they're doing that. Outside of the nominations, I think it's a very important thing that these conferences or our assemblies rather is not just about us electing leadership, but this is an opportunity for the regions from the branches to come together and say this is what we want to see happening in our region, this is what we want to see happen in our province, this is what we want to see to happen in our branches. So we do have commissions. It's a very important part of our programs. So we break into commissions and they'll go and discuss various things, but we'll have the top 5. Obviously most people, that's why they attend, but we are trying to change that culture where we actually have our membership is conscientized that they come and they see these assemblies of a way of renewing mandates and also preparing ourselves for elections as well.
And it's running concurrently with the Sekhukhune as well. What do we know is happening there in the Sekhukhune district in terms of the processes? Has it also started?
Yes, of course. Actually, their registration process finished a bit earlier than ours, so they've also kicked off the second part of their programs. So what will also happen, we'll have a political overview from the convener. You have an organizational report that normally would be taken by given by the regional secretary, but because we are disbanded, we have a coordinator, so they'll give an update of what has happened in the province. And so when you hand over to the leadership that's taken over, they know this is the situation, and our branch members know the state of the region when they receive it.
You're mentioning a very key important factor. We know that in January structures in the province were dissolved. Would you say as a party, looking at the fact that now you've started with the regional conferences, have you been able to achieve the key goals that you were eyeing when you initially, when the Central Command Team decided to disband the structures in Limpopo, following that poor showing, of course, in the local government elections?
Well, we definitely have. We've done extremely well. Our mandate has been read. Actually, we also have the 1 million EFF membership campaign that we have. So Limpopo was actually the first province to reach their target even before we had started doing our branch people's assemblies, which is the build up to region and to our provinces. So we are very satisfied. We've got proper structures. Like you can see that there's real people here. There's no fake delegates. We've exceeded our quorum by 91 members. So that just shows that the decision by the Central Command Team was key, that we've met our target. We are running 2 regional people's assemblies today. Next week it'll be the same, and then we'll have the provincial conference or assembly rather later in December. So we're very proud of what has been achieved in Limpopo. So watch out, 2024, Limpopo is coming for you.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Flo, that is the national spokesperson of the EFF, Leanne Matei, saying that processes here have indeed begun. We expect that results will come in later in the evening. Of course, there are two conferences today in Sekhukhune as well as here in the Vhembe region. This is as the EFF tries to rebuild its structures by essentially relaunching its regions. Flo?
Thanks to you, Katlego, for us indeed in Limpopo there, where the EFF is there campaigning on the revival structure, regional structures. All right.